Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing well today. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I cooked, and when you're the cook, it tends to be crazy and tiring, but it was a very enjoyable day. Good meal. We ate leftovers for a few days. We had a lot left over. I always cook too much. I'm sure all of you do too. Today, I've got a card made with the Merriest Trees bundle. The bundle is, actually not the bundle, the stamp set and the dies will be carrying over, but they won't be bundled after January 5th, so you won't get the 10% savings. So if you're looking for that savings, I gotta tell you what, this has been one of the most versatile sets that I got this Christmas, to make Christmas cards with. It's just been fantastic, and I've just enjoyed it so much. We're going to do a little bit of paper piecing today, and let's go ahead and get started on our card. Let me find a safe place to put this so I don't mess it up. But the products I used were the Merriest Trees. I didn't use, you know what? I didn't use, okay. I used a little bit of the stamp set, not much. I didn't grab my dies, I'm sorry. But I also used the Merriest Trees dies, and I used the largest die in that set to cut out the tree on my card front. I used the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder, which is just a lot of fun. And then the Brightest Glow stamp set is a carryover, and I love the sentiments so much for the holidays. And that's where I pulled my sentiments for this card from. But I don't know what I did with it. I bet I put the dies away. I didn't mean to. All right. So let me grab some pieces here. So what I have is I've already die cut the shape of my tree out, and this is the largest tree die in the Merriest Trees die set. And this piece of white cardstock measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And all of these measurements will be on my blog tomorrow. And then I have another panel that's going to sit behind this one. And this one is slightly smaller. This one measures 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. So that's actually what we're going to build our tree on. And then I've got my inside panel and my envelope here for stamping. But let's go ahead. So what I want to do is, I want to kind of, I forgot to grab, bear with me. I just need a little bit of Post-it tape here. And I'm just going to use this Post-it tape. You could use a Post-it note if you'd like. But what I've done here is kind of centered on the back side of my cutout. Centered that second panel that's going to sit behind the cutout. And I'm just going to center that kind of, so that it has an equal reveal all the way around. And then I'm going to just, gently hold that together with my Post-it tape. You can use a Post-it note if you'd like. I just don't want it to shift. And I am going to take a mechanical pencil, or just a pencil, right? You don't want a soft lead. It will be too dark, and you'll end up having to maybe erase the sides of your cutout. And if that happens, that's not disastrous. And all I'm going to do here is I am going to trace around this outline. This is going to give us a roadmap of where to lay down our paper strips. So just quickly give that a trace. And I've seen a few demonstrators do this, and I gotta tell you, the results are like really different. No two cards have looked alike when folks have done this this paper piecing. Boy, that Post-it tape is really grabbing there. It usually doesn't grab that well. Alrighty. Get this off. There we go. And we can set our cutout, or we can set our traced tree aside. It's probably very difficult for you to see that, but I can see it. It's dark enough for me to see. And I'm going to grab my Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. Oh, you know, before I do that though, hold on. I see I'm getting ahead of myself. I had very little sleep last night. Some nights are like that. And I actually wrote down the steps for this card today, so I wouldn't get out of order. I almost did. See, I didn't look at my note. But I thought, I am so tired that I'm going to forget or mess up something. I'm going to grab my real... Hey, Faith, thanks so much for joining. Oh, you did? Oh, my, I wonder why. That's strange. What I want to do is I want to stamp my sentiment here along the bottom of my panel here. And I'm going to use real red ink. And my sentiment is from the Brightest Glow stamp set, as I'd mentioned. Well, Faith, I'm glad you found me. Appreciate you joining. All righty. I'm going to need to pull this to me. And hopefully I don't mess up my stamping. All right, let me see here. Try to get that centered as best as I can. Okay, that looks good. And while I am stamping, let me go ahead and grab my other pieces. I'm going to go ahead and stamp on my inside panel. And that sentiment is not that one. The sentiment for the inside panel is, may the peace of the season light your world and may your new year be the brightest. Aren't these the greatest sentiments? I just love them. Alrighty, and again in real red ink. And hopefully we can get this straight. Just stamp this at the top here. I wonder what the problem was, Faith. That's really strange. Well, you know, it's Facebook. Sometimes Facebook is just strange. All right, so I fibbed a little bit. I am going to use the detailed tree stamp from the Merriest trees stamp set, and I am going to, that's why I've got my scrap paper out here. I'm just going to ink this tree up about midway, and I am using Mossy Meadow for that. I couldn't remember if I had Old Olive or Mossy Meadow. Good grief. All right, so I'm just going to ink that tree up, and I'm going to partially stamp it here in the corner. So that is the first stamping. Hey Mary, thanks so much for joining. And then I'm going to stamp again and just lower it just ever so slightly, like that. And that leaves a real pretty image, a nice soft image. Alrighty, that is our inside panel. Let me grab the envelope. And I don't want to get my envelope in that wet ink. Let me turn my scrap paper around, because it would be my luck. And I'm going to ink this detailed image of the tree up again in Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to partially stamp it here on the left corner. And then again, just slightly lower, and stamp it one more time. Okay, and that's it for the tree. I can close my Mossy Meadow ink up. And I'm going to grab the little bow from the Merriest tree stamp set. And we're just going to put a bow here on the tree that's in the first generation stamping. Envelope. And let me get the inside panel. I've been having trouble stamping this bow. I'm not exactly sure why. It feels like the stamp is not flat or something. It very well could be. But I didn't have problems with anything else. I know. I love, love, love the Merriest Trees set. It is just the bomb. I can go ahead and get rid of my scrap paper. And let me set these pieces aside until I need them again. So I don't know if you guys, it caught me saying that I got very little sleep last night. And so I wrote myself out a little checklist for this card today because I was so afraid. And it's like me to forget ribbon, embellishments. It never fails. And I thought, you know what? Just write a list out of all the steps you need to cover. So we've done the tracing. We need to, before we start paper piecing, I am going to now grab the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder and emboss this front panel. That's why I wanted to stamp it first. And if you've ever noticed, the embossing folders have a line. It's not so important with the snowflake pattern, but with you know, geometric patterns or straight, anything with a straight line or a grain, you want to line the bottom of your cardstock up with that black line on the embossing folder. And just give me a quick minute to emboss this and I'll be right back. Yeah, it's no fun when you can't sleep. And I'm getting ready for a craft fair this weekend, and I'm actually in pretty good shape. Anything pretty much that I do past this point is a bonus, which is good. But yeah, I woke up at like 1 a.m. and I started thinking about, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, and it just about drove myself crazy. So yeah, I was up pretty darn early. All right, so I have cut here a number of strips. Really doesn't matter on the width. You don't need it, you don't need any strips necessarily wider than your card. And these are all, this paper is from the Traditions of St. Nicholas 12 by 12 Designer Series paper pack. And the B side of the paper in that pack is just beautiful. They are all damask prints. And I pretty much stuck with, I was calling this copper clay on my blog post, but I think that probably it is pecan pie. I'm thinking it's pecan pie. It might be copper clay. And then mossy meadow, and then we've got some real red here with some darker tones, which actually might be the cherry cobbler, but I used a real red card base on my card for today. But all I'm going to do is, I've already traced the tree outline here on my card, on this smaller panel. So all I'm going to do is just fit and glue down these pieces. And as I go along, I'm just going to trim away, any excess. I don't need super long pieces. And we'll get these glued up. Yeah, if we could just turn our minds off when we need to, that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I do want to get this first one, pretty straight. So I'm going to use that top edge of the card to kind of guide me to make sure that that first one is straight. That kind of sets the tone. And I'm just alternating between the copper clay and the mossy meadow and the red. And I'm just going to trim these down. Like I said, they're 1/2 inch wide strips, but I really wasn't concerned about the width. I was cutting from scraps of paper, and so I didn't really worry about how wide they were. And this will take a hot minute here to get this done. If I talk less, we'll probably get done quicker. Just saying. I can gab on sometimes. Yeah, I agree, Faith. I love these colors together. I just love the prints in general. I love damask. I like anything traditional, to be honest with you. These are just beautiful. I did get gosh, and I just forgot what I was going to say. Do you believe it? Oh, good grief. Yeah, well, that would be the lack of sleep. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, my goodness. So I hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving. We had a real nice Thanksgiving. We had a friend of my mother's, join us for Thanksgiving. He's a widower, and he lost his wife a couple of years ago. But he and his wife, they had retired to Florida. They'd moved to Florida, but they were working right down there. And he had not sat down for a Thanksgiving dinner in 20 years. And he's doing a new job now that gives him a lot more flexibility. So he was able to travel up here, and he joined us for Thanksgiving dinner, and it was really nice. And this is a gentleman that I have known pretty much all my life. Just a real nice guy. And so it was nice having, someone join us. It's always nice to get the family together. But our family is small now. And so it was nice having someone, join us and add a little interest to the conversation. And it was a great day. Once all the cooking was done, it was a nice, relaxing day. So I hope you guys enjoyed the same. Yeah, it was great that he joined us. It was real nice. So kind of like watching glue dry, huh? But we're almost done here. Speaking of cool, man, did our temperatures get cold. The cold came in a couple of days ago, and yowza, it got really, really cold. It's only about 36 degrees right now, but this is like the warmest part of the day. It was downright frigid this morning. The strawberries got covered, I think, just in the nick of time. The crazy things were still blooming and producing fruit, but the fruit wasn't getting ripe. But yeah, they were still blooming. Their little hearts out. And when I'm putting these strips down, I'm just making sure that they're budding up next to each other. You could use seal for this, but honestly, I like the glue for the wiggle room. And I'm just paying attention here to the border. Make sure I cover that area that I've traced. And it's in the 60s where you are, Faith. Yeah, it got super cold here. We were in the 20s, and the wind yesterday was howling all day. And it just, the pups didn't even want to go outside, and they really don't mind the cold. But it was kind of funny. They were perfectly happy to snuggle on the couch all day. All right. I have a 9th strip here. I've got 8 down so far. It kind of takes a 9th strip. There may be a piece that just peeks out on the very, very bottom. So I want to make sure that I have that coverage. And this is the last one. I promise, this is the last one. 40s at night. Yeah, that's, it's funny, when it gets after summer and you hit 60 degrees, you're like, oh, it's a little chilly. And, but after you've had 20-degree nights, I'll tell you, 40 and 50 feel balmy, doesn't it? It's funny how that happens. Alrighty, let me get my strips out of the way here, my scraps, because we're all done gluing those up. And I am going to glue my top embossed card to this base here. And I'm going to put the glue on the back side of the embossed panel. Hey, Karen, no worries. Thanks so much for joining. Doing a little bit of paper piecing here, and I'm gabbing, probably too much. Using the Merriest Trees bundle, and I'm just so happy that this bundle is coming back because it really is. It has been one of my favorites. But the reason I'm putting the glue on the back side, if you don't get a little bit of adhesive around that tree cutout, it's going to gap on you a little bit. Ask me how I know. Because I might have made this card twice already. This will be the third time. Because I wasn't happy with the scraps that I chose the first time for the card, so I made it again. And again, I'm looking for an equal reveal, and we did that when we traced the tree on the front of the card. So you can see. Now see, I don't see any red along the bottom there, but had I not put that 9th strip, you could bet your bottom dollar that I would have a white gap, and I don't want that. All right, let me grab the rest of my card parts here, and we can assemble, and we will be about done. So again, this will be on my blog tomorrow with all the measurements and a tutorial. Oh, thanks, Mary. Yeah, I've seen other demonstrators do it, and honestly, I don't think I've seen any results that look alike, you know, like they all look different, which is great. And it's just kind of a fun, you know, it's just kind of a fun thing to do. Whoops. It'd be nice if I got my Mossy Meadow mat here. And I'm just making sure I've got that reveal around there. I love matting cards. I just think it gives it such a finished look. Oh, thanks, Karen. Appreciate it. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving, Karen. And again, looking for that equal reveal all the way around. And make sure my card's going to close okay. It is. There we go. And we are going to put we're going to put the front on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Give it a little bit of a little pop up. And I like, I don't usually stamp a sentiment and then emboss the panel over top of it, but I really like the look, to be honest with you. It's pretty cool. I like how that looks. You would think maybe the words would get distorted, but they don't. It looks good. And I am using plenty of dimensionals here. Whoops. Well, sometimes those dimensional covers don't want to, they want to come with a dimensional. And one more there. And we'll get this popped up on the front. We're almost done. If my fingers will work to get the covers off. I've tried your trick, Karen. I can get it, but it's not pretty. Using the take your pick tool. Karen is like the expert at removing dimensional covers and picking up dimensionals with her take your pick tool. She's very proficient at it. Me, not so much. I guess we all have our talents, right? Alrighty. Now, the way I like to do this is I know that I've got, you know, how much reveal I need to have. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop that bottom edge down. And as I'm laying it down, I'm checking that left edge. And that should give me, yeah, we're good. Okay, we've got a reveal all the way around. All right. See, I'm following my checklist. I'm not going to forget the embellishments this time. I have here, this is the gold and silver trim combo pack. So you get gold and silver trim, and it's a flat trim. Very easy to tie. Just grab a little bit here, and I'm going to make a small bow for the top of our tree. And this ribbon will flatten, but it's easy enough to kind of poof it out again, the little bow ends. But you'll see here in a minute when I pull on these to tighten it, it's going to flatten out. But if you just kind of take your thumb and or finger and just kind of push it back in, it's easy enough to poof back out there. There we go. And let me grab a mini glue dot, and we'll put this at the top of our tree. But isn't it a pretty tree with that damask paper? I just love that paper. Alrighty, I'm going to put it there at the very top. I've got it kind of rolled on itself. And we'll get it right stuck right up there. Fluff our little bow out. And let me grab, well, maybe I will grab, what did I do with them? I've lost my festive pearls. They couldn't have gone up. They're hiding under my sample card. I knew they couldn't have gone very far. But I'm going to put gold, silver, and red on my card. And we're going to put quite a few of them. Let me grab a red one and get it up top there. Grab the silver. I'm almost out of gold. I was kind of trying to conserve them. And I'm just kind of going back and forth on the tree to kind of spread them out a bit. There we go. Let's grab another red one. You can see I've got 2 packs of pearls here. Let's go for silver. And let's go for another red. And gold. And we'll do one more red. And a silver. There we go. And all we have left to do is the envelope. I'm surprised my glue lasted. I opened a new bottle just in case. Faith, they are one of my favorite embellishments. I love those little pearls. They make great doorknobs. if you have a door seat or something, they're tiny enough. Let's get a little bit of glue here. So the last chance product sale is going on right now. And items are while supplies last, and you can get up to 60% off of some of the items. I have all the information out on my blog, so please stop by my blog in inkybstampers.com and have a look. I've got the sheet out there that will tell you what are last chance products. But this is from our September to December mini catalog, which will be retiring at the very beginning of January. So if there's something you're wanting, don't delay. Grab it up now, because when they're gone, they're gone. And then don't forget about online exclusives. That's easy to do because, they're not in a catalog. And if you don't think to look at the category while you're at the Stampin' Up! Website, you're going to miss them. But several new products were added at the beginning of November. And I actually will be featuring one of those products on Friday on my blog, so be sure to check back. But yeah, check it out. And just don't want to forget about them, that they're there, because there's some good stuff there. All right. So that is kind of a real easy way to paper piece. you know, using a cutout shape and some pretty paper and embellishments and ribbon and just some simple stamping. And we are all done. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. I do upload my videos to YouTube. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please jump over there and subscribe. I've got links on my website to all of my social media platforms. So be sure to do that. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps my channel out. I am trying to grow my YouTube channel, so any subscriptions and follows are appreciated. Thanks so much. You all have a great rest of the week. Stay warm wherever you are, and I will see you next Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.